have.
Well, thank you. We, we've been there for 22 years and counting, hopefully,
Yes, that's
22
right.
more.
Well, I love that radio ad you do. We're like the most common things people say, oh, you're still, you know,
Right.
because people expect that the digital age has come and that will be the death of bookstores, and it's not true.
It's not true. I mean, it might have seemed true about 5 or 10 years ago, but no, we are cohabitating quite nicely.
Right. Well, it's such a community thing. It's, you have book readings and authors coming in, and just a place that people can go and have community reads, you know, and talk to each other.
Right.
And the store itself, how long have you owned it now?
Oh, see, I think I start blanking after a while. I think it's been about 9 years, but I've been working there for about 15, I think.
And so you, and Phineas is helping, of course, bring in some interesting items, which we'll get to at first. But coming into spring season, a lot of people start their hiking tours, and they're wondering where to go. And you've brought in a huge selection of books that are going to get them started in the right direction. Should we cover this, and then we'll get to some of the other stuff?
and maybe what we could do is just focus on some of the new books that have come out this year.
All right.
And I mean, you always have your tried and true, your AMC White Mountain Guide. That's kind of the.
Now, is this a bigger version? What is this, a gift box?
This is the newest edition, and what they finally did. You know how the book always used to come as the book with the maps in the pouch? Well, I think it's even. You're not even going to get it because it's. Anyway, you can keep trying that.
I can stop that's in the morning. I'm
but
having, so.
That way they just protect it. I think over the years, maps would disappear and everything.
Yeah.
So it's basically the book and the maps, and they've just put it in this box to make it easier packaging and everything.
Easy enough.
But this one is updated basically, after the big floods and things. So many of the trails changed and everything.
Gosh,
and
it did. I tried to do Shikoro after the ice storm. Wasn't happening.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of people, they're like, oh, I have a White Mountain Guide. But, if your White Mountain Guide, if it's last edition, that's fine. But if you're going back, somebody came in and said their most recent one was like from the 50s. And I sat them down. I said, it's time. It's time.
And you do have nice comfy chairs in there.
Yes.
So.
It's like, let's walk you through this. It's time for a new one.
And this comes with a free trial White Mountain Guide online.
There you go. And so that's kind of the basic must have everything. It's got everything in it, and you can go from there. But if you want to have some more fun, this is one of the new ones, the Big Trees of New Hampshire. Now it's all of New Hampshire, but so you hike, and every hike in it you find a big tree.
What?
Yeah,
that's what it's based on. Okay,
that's what it's based on. So a lot of kids or whatever. So those giant trees that are so interesting. So it's just a little, kind of a little segment there. But hey,
I think hiking with kids and hiking with families, a lot of the time, it's hard to do the peaks because you're set on the summit. So that's kind of cool. Another little thing to pique their interest, and say we can look for this. It doesn't always have to be the summit score,
Exactly. And actually, following that thought, the other book for that is this Best Day Hikes.
Okay.
Because what this does is it culls a lot of the hikes, and it basically gives you a hike that's got a it's got something, whether it's waterfalls or a view or it's easy. It's got something that you're going to find on every hike. So there's some sort of payoff with every hike. And that, as opposed to, those summits, those closed-in summits, and you're like, what? I'm at the summit.
Wait, I always go false peak. I'm like, what? I'm going to need another 2 hours?
So that's why this book is so good.
Having fun now.
I know. So, trees, and then this is, like I said, waterfalls, great views, easy hikes for families. That's one of the best family books you've got.
I love it. And this is also put on by the AMC.
Yes.
4-season guide to 60 of the best trails in the White Mountain National Forest. Love it. Okay.
Yes, so that's very focused. And new this year, well, we've always had these 50 hikes. This one's 50 hikes north of the White Mountains. There's also 50 hikes in the White Mountains. And then brand new, Marty Bash, who I know is no stranger to this show, has the 50 best hikes of New England. Great. So for a lot of people who are visiting but aren't here for, they're not spending their entire time here in the Valley, but they are going around New England, this is going to be a perfect book for them.
That's awesome. Go Marty.
Yes, yes. Marty just keeps putting books out and everything. So
That's wonderful. Okay. So what else do you have here?
well, what else do we have? Let's see.
What's this one? I don't
This
think we've
one
covered
is
that one.
This one, Mike Dickerman, who's also one of the co-authors of the White
Okay.
Mountain Guides. This is the 4,000 footer guide.
A popular thing for a lot of people doing the White
very
Mountains.
popular thing, and this is a little bit of travelogue and guidebook together, or we could call it a hike-a-log.
A guide in history.
Right. So you get a little more than just the facts and figures, if you will, and
Color commentary.
yes, and maybe the history of the trail, or maybe some other information. But yes, a lot of people come and they want to start doing the peaks, and that is a great book to have.
And then you also have maps.
Yeah, if you want to go simple, you don't need the big books or anything like that. You're just here for a day or two. Sometimes a map is just the perfect thing.
Waterproof, good.
Yes, they also, that one's the waterproof. They also have one that's not. And that's got, of course, much smaller descriptions of the trails, but it's going to get you the information you need to get out there on a
Well, I almost feel
weekend.
like get the book, read it at home.
Right.
You know, get those little tidbits so you don't have to
Right.
carry the book, and then just put this right in your backpack
Yes.
and off you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Phineas's influence in the store, because I love it. And basically, you've enabled me to do all of my shopping right there at the
thank
shop,
you.
because every
Thank you.
birthday party that I ever go to, that's what they get. And it's always
Good.
popular, which is fantastic. I give them a
Yes.
gift card and a little book, so I get to, you know, do the reading part of it
Right.
and give them a gift card, because there's not just books.
Right. Well, it's very funny. Phineas is tormenting me a little bit with the, you know, the I hate reading age. But he doesn't hate reading. He's because he can. I mean, what else do you do to your mother who owns a bookstore? But so we spend a lot of time focusing on stories that he likes.
Yeah.
You know, so when that poor parent comes in and goes, "Oh, I have a reluctant boy reader," I'm like, "I can help you."
I feel your pain.
Yes, come walk with me and everything.
Go off arm in arm.
I know. Tell me, you know, I feel your pain, basically. But so we have a lot of fun, and that keeps me, you know, you get so used to reading your novels and this, that, and the other thing. But, you know, a big thing about the bookstore is you've got to encourage kids, because you need them to grow up and become your customers in the future and everything. And so to do that, we have to read, or I like to read a lot of the kids' books to stay in it and everything. Not really the kids in that age group, but, you know, Fault in Our Stars is just
Is
out
that
at
like
the
a young
movies.
adult?
That's a young adult.
I love young adult books. You know, I find a lot of them are so well written,
Yes.
and the stories are fun. You know, have a little something for
Right.
a wide audience of teenagers.
Yes, and this one is just off the charts amazing. We had
So what was it called again?
The Fault in Our Stars by
Fault- I've
John
heard-
Green.
okay.
Yep. Big movie. Well, this our young man who works for us, Alex, he went with his girlfriend, and he had vowed that he wouldn't cry, and he came back and he said he did cry, and he said, but I cried more during the book.
Oh,
So, there you
jeez.
go.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, and people can come right into the shop, and what I like about is that all of your employees and yourself have
Right.
done their staff picks and why they
Right.
liked it, and so you can kind of get what's hot without, if you just want to go in and have a quiet time,
Right.
you can look for those tags.
Yeah, because I mean, if you walk into any bookstore, you're faced with a wall of books. So what do you pick? And you know, a lot of people read reviews or things they've heard or things like that, or want to go right to the bestseller list. But you know, if you want to dig a little deeper, you need a little guidance. And I was talking to somebody recently, and she said, you know, if I read a card and it says, you know, fast-paced murder mystery or whatever, she goes, oh, I know it's not for me. And she goes, but if I read another card that says, you know, amazing writing, you know, beautiful place, wonderful, you know, she goes, then I can dig a little deeper and everything. So she kind of used the cards to kind of whittle down, you know, what she wants to look at. But no, it's amazing the trauma we go through to write those 2 or 3 sentences, you know, to get them just right.
Right. Well, it's like a little, you know, not a synopsis of the story, because you leave it up to the readers to get through, you know, the whole thing themselves to find out. But you give like a little teaser, a little taste of why the book is popular with your staff.
Yes.
And you guys read a lot of books.
We do read a lot of books. And it's funny because I know we were talking about just before we came on some of the summer reads, and I am so caught up. A lot of times I read ahead. So I just read this amazing book, but it's not out until October. And so it's kind of hard to talk about that now because you guys are going to be like, I want
but
something
you brought it up now. You can't do that. Now
Well, then I will have to tell you, it's Jodi Picoult, who I have not read for several years. I'm not quite sure why.
Sister's Keeper was the last one I read.
Right. She's very prolific, New York Times bestseller, whatever. Anyway, this new one is about elephants.
Oh.
And it is amazing. Her research is absolutely amazing. It's called Leaving Time, and it's in October. And everybody's going to have to read it. Yes, yes. Mark your calendars.
What was the one that she did? It was like a Mormon community murder.
Oh, I know it. I can totally picture it.
Yeah, that was also, I enjoyed that read as well.
Yes. Yes, she's
probably
very
even more
good.
than Sister's Keeper in my mind. I just thought it was
Right.
so well written in the story. She immerses herself, and obviously, I don't know how she did it with elephants.
Well, she somehow did it, and it's like, I swear, when I finished that book, I went right online and I made a donation to this elephant sanctuary. I mean, elephants are amazing.
They are.
And
really
I guess
amazing.
I knew to some degree, but not that much.
What's the name of that other book? More with
Are
the
you
friend, the
thinking-
elephant, the little kid, they grow up together.
Oh, right, in the picture.
Yeah, the picture is him. Modoc or
Modoc, that's it.
Is it Modoc?
Yes.
Awesome
yes.
read as well. I did that one an all-nighter.
Oh.
Because it's a rather, I wouldn't say a quick read because it's so substantial, but the story, the adventure that these two go down, and that's another tearjerker one.
Right.
So anyway, White Birch Books, you got to get in there. It's an exciting world right down the street at White Birch. Tell me, can you explain the location a little bit more?
Basically, when we tell people we are just shy of the park, so just south of the park, we're across from TD Bank. And we share a parking lot with a now defunct gas station.
It's romantic.
Yes.
But no, you go in the shop. It's a beautiful building, stained glass on the front there. It's just a really cool location. The gas station, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. We just got a brand new walkway put in, and it's kind of, it's the color's going to change a little bit over time, but it's kind of like a pink ribbon up to the bookstore. And the garden was a little traumatized by the new walkway, but it's filling back in. And this time of year, I swear, is when it looks its prettiest. And it is, people come in all the time because we've kind of got that little front.
Yeah.
And they come in there like, wow, because it kind of blows up into the back there.
It expands.
And
and then upstairs too, and you have a whole nother level up there.
Right.
And let's talk before I let you go, because I know that we're over time.
Right.
But something you never thought you'd be selling at a bookstore.
Socks.
Socks.
Yes. When you think of books, you automatically think of socks, right? No, this one rep of mine came in and he had this sock catalog, and I said, no, that's ridiculous. And he said, no, you have to look again. These are beautiful knee-high socks. Well, we have man socks too. We have men's socks too. The men have.
I love knee highs.
Yes, and one of the men's pair looks like a cheeseburger.
No.
And one has little beers on it, and one has little mustaches. But no, the women's knee highs. Some are beautiful, some are funny.
Now, are we talking like full cotton, or are they like a blend? Like
they're a blend, so they've got like that spandex, so it's so it's not going to slide down.
Right. No one wants a saggy
That's not a
sock.
good look. But peacock feather. We have a beautiful koi fish. A beautiful fox, zebra.
I'm coming down to check out the socks.
Check them out.
And then I might just pick up a couple books while I'm there.
There you go.
But again, you can stop by White Birch Books. Hours of operation?
Sunday today, 10 to 5. Every other day, 9:30 to 6.
So I have to wait a little bit today. 10 to 5.
Just a little, yes.
All right.
Yes.
As soon as I'm out of the show, I'm like, so go see Laura and the rest of the staff. They can point you in the right direction, whether it's a read for yourself, a read as a gift, some for the family. These guys are going to hook you up with the perfect match. And again, hiking books are right there in stock right now, so you can go check that out as well. Laura, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks again. Also very involved in the community and helping Robert Frost Charter School, and the things that you do in the schools is quite amazing.
That's one of the fun things we get to do on the side.
So cool. Yeah, we got to talk about that too. Yeah. All right. Thanks again, Laura. All right.